every morning I wake up, especially when they did the new show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I wake up and want to be the Winter Soldier, like brrr, grrr, brrr, like ah.
Welcome back to Filling You In. I'm Coco, and with me is my co-host Subash, and today we've got a great episode for you. Today we will be ranking Marvel movies worst to best. But before that, as you can tell if you're on YouTube, it's a big difference. We've got a video podcast now.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. The video version of our podcast will be available exclusively here on YouTube, but the audio versions will still be available as usual on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Another thing, we are looking to bring guests on upcoming episodes. It's great having just us, but to, be interviewing someone and just have a new personality onto the podcast would be a really great thing. If you guys know anybody that's doing crazy things in their community, has a cool story to tell, stuff like that, message us over on Instagram at FYI podcast _ or leave a comment down below because, we'll see and we'll do our best to make it happen. Anyway, I'm excited for today's episode. This is something I'm very passionate about. The MCU is something I've loved literally probably. I think the first Marvel movie I saw might have been, it was Iron Man 1. That's the first one I know I saw, but I think the first one that I really paid attention to and was thinking about the storyline might have been Avengers, the first Avengers. I'm honestly not sure, but I'm really excited for today's episode. This is a topic that we've been wanting to do for a while, so we're excited to do it. We hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Let's get right into it. All right, to start off, we're gonna go with our absolute the worst Marvel movie. What's at your bottom?
I mean, I think we both have this at our bottom because it's probably the worst Marvel film ever. It's The Incredible Hulk. Some of you may not even know what this movie is because, you probably didn't even watch it because it was that terrible. Even the main actor, Edward Norton, who played the Hulk, who was let go and replaced by the Hulk today, who is Mark Ruffalo. So, obviously the movie did not go well. What's your 23rd?
My 23rd is not the Hulk. I actually haven't seen it. It's my second to worst. I just put it there because I haven't seen it. My dead worst is Captain Marvel.
Oh,
It is
God.
it is such a it was I don't care, right? Cool. First woman superhero or to have her own movie. Super awesome, whatever. As a movie itself, it was just not entertaining. I did not find it interesting. Uh I remember I went to theaters and I thought it was really cool because I know Captain Marvel's character from comics and stuff. It was just really bad. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a great
Yeah, I
movie.
mean, Captain Marvel is definitely low on my list too, and that brings me to, my second worst movie I think Marvel's ever done, which is Thor 1. I thought Thor 1 is completely trash. There's no really depth to the characters in the movie at all. I thought that, Thor is a great superhero, but just the way that they directed the thing and just the whole story behind it, I just thought it wasn't good. It's cool to see Mjolnir, the hammer in action, but I mean, other than that, I thought the movie was pretty bad, just a little bit above The Incredible Hulk. What about you?
Um, I agree with you. That it's not that low for me, but I think if when you go to the end and see my list, the earlier Marvel movies, like the first of different types of whatever genre, they're lower down just because they were made a long time ago, and I don't think the actors had slid into their roles as much. I forgot the name of the guy who plays Thor, but he probably hadn't that was his first time playing Thor, or I don't know if I don't really know how that worked, but it was definitely early on in his character, and it's outdated, right? It's weird to say, but it's outdated. So yeah, that's low. I mean, what's your third to last?
Yeah, so the third to the last on my list is Captain Marvel because, like you, that movie sucked. If they came out with it years before, it probably would have done way better. But I went to the movie theater, I was pretty hyped. Trailer was pretty good. I went around 9, so take my review with a grain of salt. But I watched 15 minutes and then I took a nap for like 2.5 hours because it was that trash. The post credit scene with the cat, it's all right. Gave some explanation of Nick Fury's eye and stuff like that. But other than that, I thought the movie was terrible. I went back and watched it on Disney Plus later. I shouldn't have watched it. I don't, I don't think it was that good of a movie. And in fact, that movie stirred up a lot of controversy because there was a petition to remove Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. You know, I mean, so that just is a testament to how well she did. And there's always going to be haters, but I mean, the movie was junk. What about you?
Yeah, like I said, when I was talking about Captain Marvel, I agree with you on that 100%. Um, Mine is Iron Man 2. I don't really remember Iron Man 2. I don't there are Marvel movies that like I remember because they were like super memorable and they had like a really great like effect on me. Like they're just really great movies. To be honest, Iron Man, I really don't remember Iron Man 2. Like I looked it up to make sure like I knew what I was thinking, but it wasn't really that good. I mean it was good, but compared to the other movies that are on this list, yeah, it ranked pretty low. My
Yeah,
next up, my next up on the list would have to be Thor. I think it's The Dark Ages. Um
The Dark World.
The Dark World. Sorry, it's in really fine text. Again, another movie I haven't seen in a while. I remember it. Great movie. Overall fantastic production, whatever. There's just other movies on this list that are better. That's why it's just pretty low.
Yeah, interesting. I have Thor: The Dark World also at the spot number 20. I don't agree with you. The movie was junk. The movie was junk. Let's just be real. The movie was junk. The acting, I don't know. I don't really critique it that much. No, but yeah, I just didn't think it was a good movie compared to the other Thor movie, Thor 3, which is way higher up on that list. And at number 19, I've got Iron Man 2. And that's mainly because, like you said, there are movies that are way better than it on this list. And, they had some good scenes and stuff like that. Introduction of Black Widow and things like that. But I it was all right, B.
Yeah, for sure. Next up for me is Guardians of the Galaxy. I know a lot of people are gonna argue with that. Yeah, that's definitely a hot take there. But I like the movie a lot. I thought the soundtrack is great, but it didn't really hit for me as much. It was a again, great movie, great characters at the time. It's a new franchise in the MCU, a new branch in the whole storyline. When it came out, I thought it was good. Again, there's movies on this list that are just better. It didn't hit me. What do you think? What do you think about that?
I mean, I completely disagree with that. But when I reveal its ranking, I will, give my reasons why I disagree with you. But, at my number 18 spot is Ant-Man and the Wasp, because let's just be real. I love Scott Lang as a character. What's his name? What's the guy that plays
Man,
his yeah,
I have no
who
idea.
plays him? What's his name?
I
Anyways,
don't know. I have
yeah,
no
yeah.
idea.
Anyways, I think he does a great job. Louise is absolutely fantastic, super funny. I just thought the way they did it was just kind of weird, and the villain and things like that. The
It's
story
funny.
was it was all over it. Like, okay, it was a pretty good movie, but it's more of a comedy than it was action. And although I do enjoy comedies, I don't know if that movie was for me, and so that's why I have it at the number 18 spot. What about you?
My number 18 spot is Thor Ragnarok. Again, a hot
Okay.
take, right? I disagree with you on the Ant-Man and the Wasp part. Um, my Ant-Mans are ranked in a totally different place, and I'm gonna explain, like he said, later when we get to there. I think they were great movies too, much better than I think you think they were. Thor Ragnarok is low for me. Now let me explain why. I just didn't like it, bro. I didn't like the villain. I don't. Wasn't the Hulk in it? What isn't the Hulk in
Yeah.
that one?
Uh-huh.
I didn't understand. Like, bro, half it was just confusing. Uh, not for me. It was not. I did not. It did not hit. I remember I walked out. I was like, huh? Like, nah, not it. Not it.
You
What do
know,
you think? What do
I
you
mean,
think?
I'll
What do
get
you
into the
think?
points why I disagree with you when I reveal where it is, and I'll just let you know it's top 10. So,
You
you
have
know,
Ragnarok top
I
10.
think Ragnarok is top 10, but yeah.
Damn. I mean, I think you might as well just go into it since we're talking about it. When we get up to top 10, you can just say, I already explained it. But I mean, why is your Ragnarok? Why, why do you disagree? That's just my question. Why do you disagree? But why is yours so high?
I think it's pretty simple. Thor 1 and 2 were absolutely trash, as we've talked about before. But Thor 3, it's just humor. Thor 3's humor and just the overall movie I thought was fantastic. He gave Loki a redemption arc. It gave Thor as a character a redemption arc because before Thor was like, I mean, he's kind of likable, but not really. But in Thor 3, that's really where I think he took his form. And that's really thanks to Taika Waititi, the director. And, I just thought it was a pretty good film. The CGI and fight scenes and stuff like that I thought were solid. And I think that Hela was a great villain as well. So I have that at number 7.
What's next up on your list?
Yeah, so next up on my list is Iron Man 1. And I mean, Iron Man 1 started off the entire thing. I thought it was a great movie at the time. It's good. It still holds up to today, but I just don't think that I thought it was all right, but compared to the other movies that they put out nowadays, I don't think it's up there. What about you? What's your number 17?
My number 17 is the Avengers original movie. Um,
Okay.
hold up. Okay, I agree with you on the Iron Man standpoint. I think earlier I said Iron Man, the first Iron Man was super low. I meant Iron Man 2. My Iron Man 1 is a little bit higher. Um, Again, amazing movies that are just much, much up there. The Avengers movie was the first movie in the Avengers series. Again, I think like it's an ode. It's like it's so iconic. Everything that happened in that movie, like set up everything to come. Uh, it was a good movie, but there's things that were better, and it's low for me. It's entertaining, but there's things that are better for sure.
Okay, okay. What do you got at number 16?
My number 16 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Buddy, why are you being so toxic about this?
Okay. Explain your take, man.
All right, so the reasoning behind why I ranked Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 low, uh, some movies are just better, man. Guardians of the Galaxy isn't the tip of my enjoyment. They're funny, but there's just Marvel movies that are funnier for sure. Uh, I just some people that's something that's really arguable, and I know that's something that a lot of people don't agree with. But Guardians of the Galaxy is not the tip of my funny list. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. I mean, that's respectable. And I think this might be a kind of a hot take, but at number 16, I got Captain America, the first Avenger. And I mean, I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was a great movie, but I thought it was a great movie. And, the character, it was a great introduction to Steve Rogers, Captain America. And just the whole thing behind it was good. The story was good, the main message and things like that. But like you said, there are movies that are just better. And, that's why I have it at number 16.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really like. It's not really something that's disagreeable because, especially for me, because I ranked it a little bit lower as well. I haven't. It's coming up in a little bit, but yeah, there's other movies that are better. Definitely a great movie though. Like I'm not. I couldn't say it's a bad movie because it's really good, but when you're ranking things, it just can't. There's things that are definitely better. And
Yeah.
what's next up for me? I'm just gonna say both the next two up on my list because they're both together. Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man Homecoming. Again, great movies. Tom Holland, cool character, cool actor. I think they did a great job. There's movies that are better, and to a point, it was they were okay, but I think I wouldn't say they're for a younger audience, but they're not as intense and as in depth maybe as some of the other movies in the MCU. So that they're just grouped together down there. Again, great movies. I really enjoyed them, but not super high for me. What about you?
Yeah. So for me, at number 15 is Doctor Strange. And I thought it was a great movie. Benedict Cumberbatch in that movie is great. I think the transition from sort of a cocky surgeon or whatever he is to a guy who's devoting his life to protecting the universe, great arc and things like that. And it was really fun to see, and the introduction to that type of sorcery and magic was really good. But I mean, just for me personally, I think other movies are just better. They're just better. And that leads me to number 14. And I know you probably want to have this low, but that's Ant-Man. And I thought pretty much Ant-Man was really good. Like from the beginning, the punch scene and things like that, it was good. It's kind of at its core, it's a family movie. I thought it was a great movie, but you know, I just think it just lacks something. it lacks something, and it just didn't have that it factor. And so that's why I have it at number 14.
Doctor Strange is ranked like next for me. It's my next ranking. I think it's so underrated. I don't think people talk about it or appreciate it enough at all. I really don't think it's talked about enough. It was such a great movie, an amazing character. He's one of the keeper of the Infinity Stones. Like if that's not something already, it's such an underrated movie. I wanted to rank it higher when I was making my ranking, but there were just movies that were better. But it's a really good movie. Ant-Man, totally disagree with you. It's a total disagree with you.
Okay.
Ant-Man is in my top 10. You know, it's a really great movie. I bought it before, like I guess you know what I mean? Like I actually bought the movie like
Mhm.
for
Before like
whatever
Disney Plus and things
$25.
like that.
Yeah, before that's what I was thinking. Before Disney Plus, I bought the movie because that's how much I liked it. Same goes for Doctor Strange. Such a great movie.
Wow.
Such a great
Okay.
movie.
Okay.
I think
Um,
you really did Ant-Man dirty. And so yeah, I mean, what are your 13 and 12?
yeah. So for me, 13 and 12, I at number 13, I got Avengers Age of Ultron. And it was a good movie. Yeah, I mean, in the scene when Nick Fury comes in the helicarrier after just, pretty much save the people of Sokovia, I thought that was probably one of the best scenes in the MCU ever, but
Yeah,
just like Quicksilver, they did Quicksilver wrong.
they
They
really
did
did.
Quicksilver bad. Why couldn't you
Yeah,
just grab the guy from the X-Men?
yeah,
That guy was
yeah.
fantastic. You know, and how
I
is he
agree with
gonna
you.
die to a bullet? This
Yeah,
guy's super fast, but
that
he's
was a
gonna die
total.
to a bullet.
He got snubbed in the MCU. He was not that was his character should not have died. He would have been. There's no other actual speedster like super speed person.
Yeah,
That was in the rest of Phase One. If anyone's seen, I mean, this is DC, but if anyone's seen The Flash, there's so much potential for speedsters and what they can do, and they could have done so much crazy dope stuff with Quicksilver, especially his relationship with Scarlet Witch. You know, that was a real big miss for Marvel. Personally, I think that they knew they had to include the character because he's with like him and Wanda are like together because I'm pretty
yeah.
sure they're sisters, right? Like they come together in the MC in the comics. I just think they didn't see a future for him in the MCU, which is a really, really, really unfortunate situation. I don't know much about like his character, but it would have been sick to see him do more.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why I have it at number 13. The movie was great, but they did Quicksilver bad, and just some things they missed the mark on it.
Yeah, I mean, my number 13, and I'll just say my 12 because they're together. It's the Spider-Man movies, Far From Home and Homecoming. Great movies. There's just movies that were better in the MCU. I enjoyed them. Maybe they weren't at like the peak of my enjoyment. I wouldn't say action-packed as the other movies, but they don't have the in-depth and like rich storyline that some of the other Marvel movies do. Great movie, great production, but there's just things that are better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me at number 12, I have Spider-Man Far From Home. It was a great movie. What was surprising to me is that the box office was like over $1 billion. Did
Mm.
you know that? Like,
I did. I knew it was really successful. I'm not surprised.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure whatever, I don't know if it was Fox or whoever owned the rights to like make the Spider-Man movies. Oh, I think it was Sony or somebody, but they
It's
told
Sony.
him,
Sony.
yeah, they told him that if this movie doesn't if it doesn't surpass 1 billion, then they're not doing a third film. And so there was a lot of pressure for it to do really good. And it was just pretty surprising to me that that movie was $1 billion in the box office.
I agree 100%. It's a great movie, but there's a lot of pressure there. I think what is this? The third time around they've done Spider-Man movies. They
Yeah.
switched the actor.
Yeah.
Uh Tom Holland is great. I think there's no denying it. I think anyone that says Tom Holland isn't a good Spider-Man, they just they're not woke to it. He's a great
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield was cool too. I liked his movies as well. I think the vibe is totally different, and I like that a lot. Like, if it was the same, then it would be a little weird. But I like Tom Holland as Spider Man.
Yeah.
My number 11 would be Doctor Strange. Again, great movie. I rank it high because it's unique, and there's no other movie that's like it in the MCU. It has its own unique like flavor, its own unique storyline, amazing character. One of my favorite. I again, I don't really read the comics, but I was given a gift of a like an encyclopedia book with all of the characters in Marvel Comics, and I literally read about each and every one of them. Like you could ask me about a random character that no one's heard before, and I'd probably be able to tell you something about it. There's a character called Dormammu in Doctor Strange. Super crazy character. I'm hoping they have more for him. Maybe in Doctor Strange 2. So cool. One of the craziest and coolest characters. But yeah, Doctor Strange was really sick.
Yeah, so for me, my number 11 is Iron Man 3. And I mean, the movie was good. Like overall, Marvel movies are really, really good. But I mean, again, this one lacks some elements and things like that. I thought Killian was a great, super great villain. And the scene at the end with when all the Iron Man suits came, that was probably top 5 moments in the MCU. It was completely fantastic. But there are
Yeah.
just some things that, I just didn't
Mhm.
like about it. I can't really explain it, but just some things that just missed the mark.
Yeah, I just didn't hit. Um, my number 10 is Iron Man 1. Iconic movie. I think it's the first Marvel movie I saw in the MCU. I'm pretty sure it's the first one in right.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Great movie. It's just it's iconic. It's a classic. I really like it. It shows how Iron Man came to be. What's yours? What's your next one?
Yeah, so for me at number 10 is Captain America Winter Soldier. And at the time, I was like, this is the best MCU movie ever. This thing is great. The Winter Soldier, bring back Bucky, that was great. That whole car scene with Nick Fury, that might be top 5 MCU moments ever,
Yeah,
you
that's a
know?
crazy scene. It's so good.
And just like the fight scenes and all of it was really good, but I mean, they're just better movies in my book. They're just better movies, like overall. I thought action wise, fantastic. Story wise is all right. Bringing back Bucky, that was good, but I mean, just overall, the whole thing I thought could have been better. What do you got at number 10?
My Captain America and the Winter Soldier is ranked higher. Dude, every morning I wake up, especially when they did the new show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I wake up and want to be the Winter Soldier, like, brrr, grrr, brrr, like, ah! Like, bro, I want to do that so bad, and just like murder, not murder. I don't want to murder people, but like, I like that there's a thrill to it, dude. He's such a cool character. He's so like spy and mysterious, like sleuthy, like, like he's just so cool, and I like. He's a really cool character. And he's another character that doesn't actually have a superpower. Um, so that makes him. I relate to him on that standpoint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah, really cool character. Regardless, I'll talk about where my the Winter Soldier movie is a little bit more up, but for me at number 9 is the first Captain America movie. Great movie, did it really well. Um, yeah, nothing really more to it. I think we all know that it was a great movie. It just ranks high. Also, the Red Skull was in it. He's a pretty cool character.
Yeah, so for me at number 9, I've got Spider-Man Homecoming. I just like how they like totally redid Spider-Man in a way, They made him young, they give it sort of this new like teenage vibe to it, and just yeah, like you said earlier, Tom Holland's performance in it was absolutely fantastic. I think the entire cast was great. I think they did a great portrayal of bullies nowadays, Like they're
Yeah,
not gonna like wedge you, or at least I don't think they're gonna wedge you. Like they're gonna,
yeah,
all
it's
the
just
things
weird.
Flash was doing, like calling them names and things like that. That's more bullying nowadays. And I think that they captured that teenage experience really well. And I just thought, great movie overall.
Yeah, there's nothing really to dispute there. I just have movies that were better. Great movie.
Yeah.
For me, my number 8 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I really liked the movie. I thought it was really good. I love Ant-Man. His character was super cool. Um, I was him for Halloween once, if that really means anything. Uh, dude, I had a mask and everything.
All right.
But yeah, no, I've been Hawkeye, I've been Thor, and I've been Ant-Man for Halloween. Number 8 for me is going to have to be Avengers: Age of Ultron. Such a good movie. I think it's the most underrated Avengers movie. Besides, I mean, the first one, everyone's seen the first one. I think people don't appreciate Age of Ultron enough. Ultron is for me top 3 Marvel villains. He is he is such a cool character. Of course, he's a robot, but like he looks so cool, and he's like 10 feet tall. He's like 20 feet tall. And he flies, and he has like 10,000 versions of himself in like it was such a good movie. They did Ultron so well. It was so good. His character was so good. And they like the animation, everything, the fight scenes, um, it was really good. It was an outstanding movie. Like we said earlier, Quicksilver was snubbed. Nothing more about that. It just is what it is. They should not have done that. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, James Spader's performance as Ultron in that was absolutely fantastic. His voice as Ultron, I mean, it was really, really good. Some of you guys may recognize him from other things like what's that show? Blacklist. And the other one,
Mm.
he was in the office. He was in the office. He was Robert California. Robert California. I mean, doesn't really look anything like he sounds, but yeah, it's him. He plays Robert California in The Office. That's just a fun fact. For me, at number 8, I have Avengers Infinity War. And I mean,
Bro,
and
bro, bro.
I thought overall the film, it was all right. You know, the fight scenes definitely delivered, but just like the whole story arc to it and everything, I thought it was all right. I think the Russo brothers did a pretty good job making sure that each character had enough screen time and things like that. But I thought, like, we already knew what was gonna happen. Like, we knew some heroes were gonna die and things like that. And I mean, at the time, biggest hype ever. Yeah, and from your reaction, I can tell you definitely have a way different stance. So when we get to your ranking, we can definitely talk more about it.
Yeah, definitely interesting take. We'll go into that more for sure, for sure. What was your number 7?
Yeah, so for me, and I know you had this movie way lower, but for me, number 7 is Thor Ragnarok. I mean, they brought Thor back. They completely changed his character. I know I talked about this earlier, but I just thought that the comedy in it and everything like that, I just thought it was good. They gave Loki his redemption arc, and just overall, I thought it was a fun movie. Yeah. So, what about you?
Um, yeah, I mean, we talked about Ragnarok earlier, definitely low on my list. Just not it didn't hit me, bro. It didn't hit me. I'm gonna be 100%. Next up for me is going to have to be Ant-Man. Uh, Such a good movie. Iconic, bro. It's an iconic movie. Uh, it's the first one. It's better than the second one. Just the whole character and how he shrinks and like what they did with the ants, like how he rides ants, just the whole plot line they did it. How how they just did the whole movie was super good. I was Ant-Man for Halloween once when it came out. It was that same year. Um, so I really liked his character. Um, I definitely think they have a lot more character development to do with Ant-Man. You know, he's been in I believe it's 4 movies now, 4 or 5 of the Marvel movies.
Yeah,
Don't keep track of
I
that,
think
but
it's 5.
yeah, but you know, I don't think they really went into his character or went into what he was, just him. Like because a lot like Captain America, his character is developed in other movies besides his own. Characters like him and Iron Man versus side characters like Ant-Man, etc. They don't really get any character development. They're just there to do their thing,
Yeah.
which is their superpowers. They need a lot. I really hope they do more with Ant-Man. And yeah, what's yours?
Yeah, so for me at number 6, I have the Avengers. And you know, this was the first time any like franchise has done like a huge superhero team up movie, and I think that Joss Whedon did a fantastic job overall. The movie, I thought it's probably one of the best. I mean, I guess you can tell by my list, but it's probably one of the best movies they've ever done. Just being able to introduce characters that we haven't really seen before and things like that. Yeah, but I just thought overall it was a good movie. There definitely are better ones. That's why it's at number 6, but it ranks pretty high for me. What
Yeah,
about
I mean, it was my 15 number 15. We talked about it. There's
yeah?
just movies that were better for me. And yeah, my number 5 is Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Like I
Okay.
talked about earlier, the Winter Soldier is so cool, dude. He is so cool. He's the coolest character. One of the coolest characters in the MCU. Um, Great movie. They did a fantastic job with it. They make him look like a psycho too. like with all of like the brainwashing and like they have that one, and this moment actually scared me when I first, like I was dead scared, like traumatized when I saw it. It's like him sitting in a chair and they like have him strapped up and he's like, ah, and he's like screaming and like I guess I don't know, I don't even remember what was happening, but that traumatized me. But then there's another scene where like he's beating up people in like a prison cell, and then like he walks like the head guard out while he like beats up other people. Such a good, just that whole movie was great. Uh, yeah. What's your number five?
Yeah, so for me at number 5, I have Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think this was probably it was better than the Avengers for like introducing a whole bunch of characters. You know, I think Chris Pratt is absolutely fantastic in that movie. You know, just overall the entire cast did a great job. I think their chemistry is super strong, and that's why the movie works out good. I think the director and writer James Gunn, absolutely fantastic job choosing the soundtrack and writing it. You know, it's you can see them developing as a family in the movie, and I think that it was just it was a really strong movie. And like I said before, the soundtrack, come on, who was not vibing with the soundtrack? Let's just be real. Like, come on now. It was really, 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 really well put together. And I think that's why I have it in my top 5. What's your top 4?
Uh, at number four for me, rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman, is Black Panther. Um, it's such a good movie. I remember the first time I saw it, I was just in awe. Like I was just like, wow. Um, everything about it. Like I don't think a lot of people, either people really don't like it or people really like it. I think the majority of people really liked it. Pretty cool what they did with it. Taking place in like a very modern civilization. T'Challa is such a cool character. Black Panther can do some really sick stuff. Really, really, really unfortunate with what happened. Unfortunately to Chadwick Boseman. Uh, Perfect, great actor. He did a great job. Half like it's like halfway. I'm glad that Marvel publicly announced they aren't going to be recasting, at least for the time being. I guess when an actor unfortunately passes like that, you can't just recast really quick because the audience is bonded with a character that is Chadwick Boseman. Do I think they're gonna pick it back up in the future? 100%. There's so many and so many ways to go with Black Panther. I don't think it would be disrespectful at all. Maybe if they did it super quickly, it'd be like, maybe you're moving on too fast, but we're not moving on. Not moving on, but like going forward a little bit too fast. But there are so many ways they could go with Black Panther. If you know anything about his character, he can do some really, really insane stuff, like look into the cosmos and like do all this like trippy space stuff. But yeah, great movie. Michael B. Jordan as the villain. He was so good. I
Super
don't really, I
fantastic.
don't really agree with the not agree, but I don't think he should have died. I feel like it would have been sick to see his character live on because Michael B. Jordan's character was really cool. Then again, he was the villain. It would have been, I don't know how they would have structured that, but seeing that whole movie, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, so for me, I have it higher up, and I'll get into that. But for me, at number 4, I've got Captain America: Civil War, and that's because just the stakes and everything that they did leading up to the movie, making people choose teams and things like that. I thought it was really well done. The story behind it is really good. Zemo might be the best villain in the MCU period because he doesn't have any superpowers or anything like that, but he's just like so thought out that it just makes his character super well. And I think that the actor did a fantastic job portraying it as sort of like, because you can kind of relate to him. Like you can see that he's doing like bad things, but the Avengers kind of did kill his family and things like that. So, I mean, yeah, I just thought that Civil War was a really good movie. Not top 3 for me, but, still solid film.
I agree with you 100%. My Civil War is ranked higher. I have specific reasons behind that, but uh, yeah, no, I have totally valid reasoning. I agree with you. Yeah, time to get into the top three. Again, you guys, if you guys are enjoying so far this episode, wherever you're listening, drop subscribe. We're having a great time doing this. I'm definitely like this is like my bread and butter. This is stuff that like I'm talking about in my head like all the time. It's pretty cool to be able to share it with you guys. Therefore, my number three is Avengers Endgame. Now, this is an interesting take. No, I would expect a lot of people to have it farther up. Endgame is a lot. It's we're gonna spend a lot of time talking on it for sure. Since Coco hasn't brought it up yet, I don't want to go ahead into it until we get to where he's put it. Um, what is your number three? Unless it is Endgame, but what
Yeah,
is your number
so
three?
so for me at number 3 I have Black Panther, and like you, a lot of the reasons that the villain was great. It'd be interesting to see if Michael B. Jordan becomes Black Panther, in Black Panther 3. Um I just thought the cultural significance behind it too, having like a majority African American cast was a step in the right direction for Hollywood and things like that. I thought it was super fantastic, and the film did way better than they thought it was going to do. I think it box office over $1 billion. I just thought overall super solid film, and characters are super likable. And you know what? To me, what was interesting is they were actually able to bring in like trends, like what are those and things like that. And I thought it flowed super seamlessly. And just great movie, top 3 for me.
Yeah, I mean, bro, for sure. Yeah, it's sold $1.3 billion. Uh,
Wow.
Black
Yeah.
Panther. The Black Panther movie made 631 million in our box offices, but it made 1.3 million internationally, just overall. Billion, sorry, 1.3 billion. Great movie. I agree with you 100%. It should be up there. It's a fantastic movie. What is your number two?
Yeah, so for me, respectfully at number 2, I have Avengers Endgame. And the scene at the end where all the characters come together and fight Thanos, it's probably one of the best things ever.
It is the
Um,
best. For me, it's the best scene in the MCU in the entire phase one. I you can I actually in before Endgame was a thing, I envisioned this scene happening because I kind of knew about the point where I guess Thanos faced everybody, but I saw all or it was more the villains versus the heroes. And I just pictured all of the villains and the heroes coming against each other and in a way that happened. So that was really cool to see. But we'll get into Endgame a little bit more. But great movie. I agree with you 100% on your take. Uh, let's put a pause on that because I want to get back to it. My number two, just to get it out of the way, Captain America: Civil War. Now that's a really bold what? Number two, Captain America: Civil War. It released a day before my birthday. I just remember that being a really memorable moment for me. Seeing Captain America versus Iron Man fight, like, huh? Like that's just like what? At the time, that seemed like that didn't make sense, but it's such a good movie. It is such a good movie. The airport scene where they're fighting each other, that's a top three scene for me. I think it might be second best scene. I'm not thinking about every scene right now, but it's really good. The whole movie is just insanely well done. I was personally team Iron Man. Um, they just had, in my opinion, better characters. They had Vision. Vision's really cool. But yeah, I know the Winter Soldier was on Team Cap, but still, such a good movie, really well done. Released before my like the day before my birthday, which is really awesome, and I really enjoyed it.
yeah, I mean, and I think people kind of got to respect that just because all the stakes that movie held, and seeing all these characters in not like a Avengers team up movie, but like in a Captain America, like that was really, really well done. Like you said.
Yeah,
Also, I was, you know, Team Iron Man just because I just like Iron Man as a character. Started off
I
the
do.
entire thing,
Yeah,
it's just a really, I don't know if the word is likable, but it's a character that you kind of latch onto. Maybe because he was the first, but there's just
yeah.
parts of him that are just so makes you want to, be on his team. I don't know.
It's hard to not like Tony Stark. It's hard,
Yeah.
especially Robert Downey Jr. I think out of all of the characters, I think he's the. I mean, I don't think this is arguable to be honest. I think he's the most iconic character in the MCU. I think that when you first think of MCU, I think of Robert Downey Jr. I do.
Same. Yeah.
Like he is there. I would love to see how much he was paid for all of his movies,
I
especially Endgame. I wonder what his Endgame
no,
contract
I
was.
think it was like 90 million or something like that. It was pretty nuts.
That's
Like it.
that, that's nuts, and it's deserved. He is such a good actor. Like
Yeah.
he does Iron Man so well. He just He's such a good character. Such a good actor, and he just fits Iron Man really well.
Yeah.
It's really hard not to like him. It's really hard, and it's hard not to appreciate what he's done for the MCU. I don't think it would have been where it is if it weren't for Robert Downey Jr. There's a lot of credit to give to the actors because it's hard. It's hard to play a superhero. Like it is. You have to be a superhero, be funny. Maybe not always funny, but like
Yeah, you also kind of have to have creativity because I mean, if you're like Scarlet Witch, so if you're like Elizabeth Olsen playing, Scarlet Witch, like that, you must look ridiculous. I mean, yeah, you got to have some sort of creativity. Yeah, and I mean, Robert Downey Jr.'s story, not Tony Stark's story, Robert Downey Jr.'s story is also really super interesting, and we'll probably dive into that in another episode. And here comes the moment you've all been waiting for. For me, my number one Marvel movie is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
oh no. Eh, eh.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I know you want to talk about yours and I know
No,
you
we're
want to talk
talking about this volume 2 thing for one real quick second.
we no, I know that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that we're going to talk about yours, but right now I'm just going to lay down some knowledge on you
Oh, that is such
because this is
a
probably
bad
Guardians of the Galaxy
take.
2 is probably the best done Marvel movie ever. I'm just going to say,
What? What?
name one thing that lacks. The soundtrack was awesome.
The dad? When they went to that weird planet?
Yeah,
That
what's so
whole
weird about
thing
that? What
was
what what was weird about that?
ass.
I mean,
That whole thing
I
was
th- I
ass.
think Ego coming back, that was entertaining to me. The whole cast, their synergy is just unbelievable. Like, I mean, yes, the Avengers have moments and stuff like that, but this team is there's something magical about it. And I think just overall the story and when what's his name? The blue guy, what's his name?
Yondu.
Yeah, when Yandu sacrificed his life, that was a touching moment. I'm not gonna lie, that was a touching moment. And when all of the Revengers came to his funeral, that was a really touching moment. And I
Yeah.
just think that didn't name one bad thing about that movie. It was fantastic.
I,
Number
I I won't
one,
I won't say it was all bad. I won't
it's the
say it was
king.
all bad.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Volume
Mm,
2
I
is
think you
the
put it
king.
way too high. I think you put
Best
it
Marvel
way too
movie
high.
ever.
You really put it over Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, yeah, I did.
The one thing I'll say though is you're definitely not the only one. You're 100% not the only one who would say that. I guess it's a good movie. It just did not appeal to me.
No, 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 it's
It
not
is
just a good movie. It is
so
the best Marvel
boring.
movie
It is
ever.
so boring.
What?
It was not
What?
good. It was not good.
What?
Dude, Captain Marvel was better than it. I should have put it. Actually, that's Cap. Some of the Thor movies were probably better than that. I know I
No,
put it
no
up.
way. I mean,
Yeah.
Thor 3, it's lower, but I'm telling you, go rewatch that movie. There's something magical about it.
Actually, there's one scene that I thought was really cool. It's when Ego and Chris Pratt, or I forgot his name, the Star Lord, are on the planet and they're doing like an imaginary energy
Yeah, playing
ball and they're
catch.
throwing the ball. Dude, that's such a good. I don't know that scene hit me. That scene hit me.
Rewatch that movie. I want you to go rewatch this movie.
Fine. I'll because you've said this and you've ranked it so high. I will. I'm just saying the movie was not good. The movie was not that good. You are
It
you
is
are
the best
overestimating
movie.
this movie.
It's the best movie. And I don't know if that's just because I'm a big fan of James Gunn, who is directing the Suicide Squad for what is it? The DCEU?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
easy.
But I mean, just the film was great. The film was fantastic. Best Marvel movie ever.
You know what? Let's get into mine. All
Go
right.
ahead. Go ahead.
The moment you've all been waiting for, part two. My favorite Marvel movie in the MCU is Avengers Infinity War. Now, let me explain why. It is a fantastic movie. The experience, the vibes. God, it was so good. It was so good. It was such a great movie. From the ending, which let's be real here, no one expected that.
I expected that. I
Well,
expected
you're
that.
you.
I'm gonna tell
You're
you,
you.
if you
Eh.
watched Mark Ruffalo and those guys interviewing, he literally said, "Oh, wait till you see this movie. Everybody dies." Like you already knew. Plus, there's gonna be a part two, so it's predictable. Some big bang, some big thing is gonna happen, and then in the
Yeah.
next movie they're gonna fix it. I mean,
Side
I
note, what
saw
I
it.
think is pretty yeah.
I saw
Side
it.
note, what I think is pretty cool is that the actors know the ending of the MCU and that they've had to hide it. Because I'm sure when Iron Man 1 released, they didn't know about Endgame. Like I know they had it written out, but I'm sure they weren't like Robert Downey Jr., this is everything that's gonna happen. I'm sure like they had a general idea. I'm sure they
Yeah,
had a general idea, but still the fact that they had to hide that and they knew all of that. But anyway, you know, just that what they did with everybody. And I remember there was like people were like spoiling it and stuff, but it was good. It was such a good movie. I was definitely sad about the people dying, because it was a little bit sad because we didn't really know what was gonna happen, at the time. You could pull that whole I knew it was gonna be the time stone, but like still like in a general perspective, right? Wow, all my favorite characters just died. What's gonna happen? How did they stop Thanos? Such a great movie. I remember leaving the theater like, what? I'm gonna wait another year for this. Best way ever.
yeah.
It was the yeah
Totally disagree. It was a big moment for the entire world, I think, but definitely
yeah.
not top one. Not one. Not one. I don't know what
Get
you're on.
out of
Maybe I'll
here,
go like top 10. Maybe it's like a 9 or something.
bud. You put Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as your number one.
Dude, that movie is a masterpiece. That movie is a
You're
masterpiece.
saying that Endgame, Black Panther, and Avengers: Age of Ultron and Avengers
I'm
are
saying all the
all
movies are worse than
better.
it. Yeah.
You're saying that every Marvel movie is. You're saying okay, but I want to specifically highlight this. You're saying Endgame and Black Panther are worse than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Black Panther was good. Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack is better. Just the whole vibe behind
The
it was better.
soundtrack, you're really basing this movie up. That's a factor. The soundtrack.
Well, I think when I'm rating a movie, I look at the entire thing, like soundtrack, the actors, the acting, the story behind it, everything, the chemistry, the synergy, just the overall thing. I mean, there are movies that have better action and things like that, but I mean, I don't think there's a weak spot in the movie. I don't think there was a weak spot in the movie. It was the best Marvel movie ever, in my opinion. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I mean, with that, I think we go into Endgame. Endgame is something that we also held up a topic about. Avengers Endgame was a great movie. I think without doubt. I mean, but yeah, I mean, great ending to the end of Phase 4 of the MCU. Insane movie. Like a lot of people would say it's the best because not just because of that, but like Captain America grabbing Thor's hammer. Huh? Like, geez,
You got a
such a good
point.
movie.
You got a point, but Guardians of the
I
Galaxy Volume 2 better. It's better.
bro, better than that scene between all the heroes fighting Thanos.
I
That
mean,
scene is better than both of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. You're insane. You're absolutely insane,
it's number
bro.
2. It's number 2. It's not
Okay,
number 1.
it's fair. You put it number two. It's fair. You put it
I,
number two.
I mean, there were moments in that movie where I wanted to stand up and just clap. When Captain America wielded Mjolnir, wanted to stand up and clap. When Iron Man snapped his fingers and said, "And I am Iron Man," I wanted to clap. But I mean, it just Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if I'm actually. I'm gonna leave it. You're convincing, but I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this: the entirety of Captain Marvel is better than anything Rocket Raccoon has ever said in the MCU. Rocket Raccoon is the most annoying character. I hate his character. I think all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, the whole MCU, be perfectly fine without perfectly fine without Rocket Raccoon. That's just what I'm saying. I can't get over the fact that you're putting it over Endgame.
You know what I think?
Hello.
I think you're a hater. I think haters gonna hate. Just gotta keep going. I
Are you
mean,
telling me you're entertained by Rocket Raccoon?
yeah, he says some funny things, and his dynamic with Groot is fantastic.
And I mean, yeah, with that, Endgame was just insane. Such a good movie. Great way to finish it off. I just didn't put it at the top because I just got more of a thrill out of Civil War and Infinity War. Um, Still, Endgame a great movie for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of the MCU movies are fantastic. Just some Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Some just rank higher.
and
Just gonna say
some
that.
and some Guardians of the Galaxy number one, Guardians of the Galaxy number two, and all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are just ranked lower. It just is what it is.
Oh boy. You're gonna go back and watch these movies and be like, I was
No,
wrong. I need to
I'm
go and
not
make an
going back and
apology.
watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and
Watch.
thinking it was
When
better.
people see, they're gonna see, oh wow, what is this apology video on filling you in?
Wong is better than the entirety crew of the Guardians. He's better than every Guardian, better than Drax. Like Drax, hello, better than what's the Gamora. Actually, I'll give credit. Gamora is a really cool character. Yeah,
Anyways, I think they've heard enough of our debate.
childish. They're
I
childish.
think they've heard enough of our debate. And moving on to, phase 5 of the MCU.
The future, the future, the future.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Disney shows that they've come out with?
Disney shows have been fantastic. I have not seen WandaVision yet. I know you have your own personal opinion aside from that. I just haven't had not the time, but just I haven't seen it. Don't spoil Loki for me. I know I probably should have watched up on it. I'm on episode 3. I know it ends really great. I know it. I mean, this isn't really a spoiler because I guess it's kind of destined to happen. It's not bad. I promise. Because you haven't finished it right either.
I finished it. Come on now.
Oh, don't, please, bro. Please don't spoil it for me, bro. I'm actually anyway. I know that it reveals like the future for the villain, right? Am I correct?
Yeah,
Like it if
because
it
there's going to be
reveal
a season 2. Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah. I know it's gonna reveal the future for the villain. I know, but probably by the time this episode releases, I will have finished it. I'm really excited to see who the villain is gonna be. Because I heard all the speculation before, and I have my like top picks. I'm not gonna say them because I don't want to see your facial reaction to them. Um, dude, the one thing that I think ruined my biggest hope, which was Galactus being the villain. For those of you who don't know who Galactus is, he's literally the set. Bro, stop. Okay, I know it's not Galactus because he was in a Fortnite event. I just know it wasn't. It is not. I think I saw on Twitter. I think I peeped who it was, but I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to ruin the moment for myself. But if it is, I mean, in the rare chance it is Galactus, that's sick. That's my dream MCU Phase 5 like villain. I know it's not because he was in Fortnite. They botched Galactus in Fortnite. Like Galactus eats planets and they put him in Fortnite. Like, huh? Ew.
I mean, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't think a lot of
Galactus is
our.
this giant guy who eats planets and he's a really cool villain.
Okay, I think you're nerding out just a little bit.
He's this really big guy and he can manipulate people and like control your mind. Like his head is like the size of like the sun. Like he's very big. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, I thought, I'm gonna go back and rewatch WandaVision. I'm gonna suffer through episodes 1 and 2, and I'm gonna rewatch the entire thing because every person I talk to says it's good. I mean, I just didn't find it that entertaining. I think that episodes 1 and 2 were probably some of the worst television I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, I'm gonna go back
Even
and
worse than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
you're funny. Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna go back and rewatch it because
Yeah.
everybody, everybody says it's good.
Same here. I mean, I haven't seen it. Dude, I'm lacking on those Marvel shows. I have
Yeah.
not seen WandaVision. And it was mainly actually because of your opinion. If you were madly hyped about it when you told me after you watched it, I probably would have gone and watched it, but I kind of just trusted your opinion that you said it wasn't the best. So I was kind of holding back on it.
Yeah,
I also
because it
might have
wasn't.
anyway. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So
Best
good.
Disney Plus show they've released yet. Best
Yeah.
Disney
I
Plus
mean,
show they've released yet.
I like The Mandalorian a lot, but again, two different universes. But I would say we haven't seen, dude, I'm sure in 5 years, the collection of the Marvel TV shows on Disney Plus is going to be massive. Like,
Yeah.
dude, we're what, halfway through the year of 2021, and we have Loki, WandaVision, and the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those are 3 fully season 1 shows in half a year. If that's insane. Like
Yeah.
it would be cool. I would still be even surprised if there's one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't get a lot of Marvel content like that, but 3 Marvel shows packed with content. Like every episode is insane, right?
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
really impressive. You know, whoever has the brains behind doing the shows right now, and I'm
Kevin
sure they were
Feige.
all. absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff they're putting out, especially in the pandemic. It's really nice to see that. It's kind of coming to a close, but there's still people around the world, not just here, that are locked down, and aren't and just and still need content to watch while they're not out living their lives. But you know, really, it was such a good show. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think they did a really great job with it. Again, the Winter Soldier, one of my favorite characters. Not as cool anymore now that he's kind of a good guy, but it's whatever. There was there was that one assassin scene in the first episode where he's dreaming, where he like goes into that, like, I don't know what it was, like a school or something, and he like does his thing. That was so cool. That was so cool. And then he's just a good guy now, which kind of sucks, but he's still really cool. Uh, Great episode. I love what they're doing with the future of Captain America, and I think that's where we'll transition into next, which is Sam Wilson becoming Captain America. It's in the comics. It's a very, very iconic thing that happens in the timeline of the MCU. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna wait till I see the movie, which is gonna be like a couple.
2023.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. I'm gonna wait till I see the movie to make my thoughts. I thought his new suit is dope.
For show.
I don't think anybody's not rocking with a suit. It's completely dope.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but back onto your point about Kevin Feige. Yeah, he's definitely a genius. And you know who's rumored to take his spot after he's done? James Gunn, director and writer of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm, yeah. That's a rumor. He made two of the worst Marvel movies in the MCU, so I'm assuming that's not gonna happen. Again, rumors are rumors. I wouldn't I would if I were the top of Marvel, I wouldn't put someone who made a really bad Marvel movie and embarrass the entire MCU as the director of the future. I wouldn't put someone who's embarrassed something like that and in charge of the future. It is what it is. It's just facts. What do you think about the most? Okay, so I know while we're recording this, the Black Widow movie just released. I didn't see it yet, but I've gotten mixed reviews. I don't really care about spoilers. Is there anything that like leads up to the future of the MCU? Like any like
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
I'm not gonna discuss it because spoilers and his post credit scene, but I mean, I thought the Black Widow movie was all right. It was decent. It'd probably go above like the Thor movies and things like that if I were to rank it. It was definitely funny. There are bits of it that were funny and things like that, but I just think that the story was and the
yeah,
action was I They released it too late. We're gonna talk about this on another podcast, but they released it way too late. They should have released it like
yeah,
5 years ago. And like before Wonder Woman, if they had released it before Wonder Woman and Black Widow was like having her solo movie, she would have
yeah,
been, I think she would have been the first, and that would have been
yeah.
a way better play.
It
But
would have sold way more than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2
yeah, you're
and the first
tripping.
one.
Yeah, you're
100%.
tripping. But
It was again. Anyway, point is, Black Widow's other half, Hawkeye, fantastic character, Jeremy Renner, super great actor. I think they did a great job with his character. I was also him for Halloween. Um, I had a functioning bow and arrow. I got it at a local Halloween store. Point is, fantastic character, and he deserves either his own show in the
he's getting a
MCU.
show. Hawkeye's getting a
Really?
show. Yeah, on Disney Plus.
Ooh, he
But
also deserves his own movie.
no, he doesn't. He
Yeah, he
doesn't.
does. Yeah, he
He
does.
does not,
Why?
because he's boring.
He's pretty
He's
cool. He
boring. Both
he does
Black
stuff with
Widow and
knives.
Hawkeye are boring.
I'll give you
They
Black
have no
Widow is kind of boring.
superpowers. I mean,
No, Hawkeye can like
he can
precision.
shoot a bow and arrow. I mean, like,
Yeah, I think they did a really bad job of putting him next to the Avengers because he shoots bows and arrows while Iron Man is flying around in a suit. Like it was I think it's okay, but just
I
how they've put him
yeah.
next to the
I
other
mean, I think
characters,
at
it
the
could have been
time,
better.
I think at the time it was fine, but now that you see all these other superheroes, it's like this guy needs to be cut from the team. This guy
Nah,
needs to be cut.
Rocket Raccoon needs to be cut from the MCU.
Stop talking. Stop talking to me.
And yeah, guys, that's the end of today's episode. We talked about the MCU. something that we're both really passionate about. We appreciate you guys listening in today. If you're listening over on YouTube, drop a subscribe, a like, and leave a comment down below. Was there something that you think was a totally wrong take? Was there something you agree with, like my Guardians of the Galaxy take? Let me know down in the comments. I would definitely love to hear from you guys. And again, every subscriber matters a lot. Like we mentioned before, if there's anything you need to reach out to us about, whether it's a topic idea or maybe you have a cool story to share, FYI podcast underscore on Instagram. If you guys are over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way, as well as leaving a written review. We appreciate all the feedback and everything you guys say. We read everything. It means a lot.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate every person that listens. Like Subash said, we really appreciate the support. So when people repost our posts and things like that, it gets us really hyped. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in and allowing us to fill you in. And we will see you in the next episode.